Namo Ratnatya, my dear Dharma friends and followers. Today also I came with a subject, middle part, in Vajrayana Views and Vajrayana Talk. I think you are very well. You could get an freshness in your health and happiness. We know that Buddha Shakyamuni, when he found the path of middle way, he could success to have an enlightenment. So, to those who choose the path that leads to enlightenment, there are two extremes that should be carefully avoided. The first extremes, that is extreme of indulgence in the desire of the body. Secondly, there is the opposite extreme that comes naturally to one who wants to renounce this life and to go an extreme ascetic discipline and to torture oneself, one's body and mind unreasonably. Buddha Shakyamuni, after leaving the palace, he had tortured for 6 years with a tapasya. But he could not find anything. What he dwelling for the truth. So this is the extreme part. Tortured himself in this period of 6 years, while his body is remaining, the bone and the skins. He was very lean and thin, and he is also desirable to think such a way to understand the true path. This is the extreme, one who himself follow the path. This is the path of ascetic disciples. Then after 6 years, he lived the ascetic life and went near to Gaya. Then he have got some fruits, water, and a food, kheer, bhojan, from the hand of Sujata. Then he nourished his body by eating food and fruits. Have got some energy. Then he thought that we should avoid the extreme life of desire, whatever that may be. To acquire extremenesses that should be avoided, that should leave from our life. And we should not enjoy a lot in anything, lot of food, lot of enjoyment, and lot of everything. That also makes our body problem. That's why the noble path that transcends those two extremes and leads to enlightenment, the middle way, is the best way to get enlightenment. Wisdom and peace of mind may be called on the middle way. What is the middle part? Why? We should choose the middle part. I already told something about the middle part. Not to extreme, to have, not to avoid completely. In between that extreme and avoiding, that is the middle part. It consists of the eightfold noble path too. Right view, right thought, right speech, right behavior, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. When we can understand these eight aspects of our life, when we see, we should think in the middle way. When we thought, we should not extreme and we should not liberal fully. Our speech should be very, very politeness. Our behavior to others also very kind. It is needed. And when we earn something, when we do something for our livelihood, we should earn from that work. Which work? The production of that work may not torture to others, may not be harm to others, should not be harm to others. That is called the right efforts too. So these are a Ashtangic Marga, the eightfold noble path, gives us the way to the middle, the balanced way, that is called the middle path. So, because of the middle path, we can acquire the knowledge of enlightenment. As has been said, all things appear or disappear by reason of an endless series of causes. Ignorant people see life as either existent or non-existent, but wise men see beyond both existence and non-existence to something that transcends them both. So, this is an observation of the middle way, middle path. Suppose a log floating in a river. If a log, suppose a log is floating in a river, a wood, timber is floating on the river. If the log doesn't become grounded or sink, or it is not taken out by a man or does not decay, ultimately it will reach the sea by floating. Life is like this log caught in the current of a great river. If a person doesn't become attached to a life of self-indulgence or renouncing life, does not become attached to a life of self-torture, if a person does not become proud of his virtue or does not become attached to his evil acts, if in his search for enlightenment he does not become contemptuous of delusion or fear, such a person is following the middle path. Thus, In this way, enlightenment has no definite form of nature. Enlightenment have definite form or nature by which it manifests itself. So enlightenment itself, there is nothing to be enlightened. Enlightenment exists solely because delusion, ignorance, if they disappear, so will enlightenment. The opposite is true also. Delusion and ignorance exist because of enlightenment. When enlightenment ceases, ignorance, delusion will cease also. In this way, we can follow the middle path or the way of middle way. So, whatever you thought, whenever you thought, wherever you thought, to whom you thought, that should be in middle way. People habitually think of themselves as being connected with birth and death. But in reality, there are such conceptions. When people are able to realize this truth, they have realized the truth of the non-duality of birth and death. It is because people cherish the idea of an ego personality that they cling to the idea of passionation. But since there is no such a thing as an ego, there can be no such thing as passionation. When people are able to realize this truth, then they will be able to realize the truth of non-duality. So, people cherish the distinction of purity and impurity, but in the nature of things, there is no such distinction except as it rises from false and abused image into your mind. If a driver is secure, pure, he must descend into the bottom of the sea, braving all dangers, jag, coral, and vicious sharks. So man must face the perils of worldly passion if he is to secure the precious perils and enlightenment. He must first be lost among the mountainous grades of egoism and selflessness before there will awaken in him the desire to find a path that will lead to his enlightenment. In this way, we should know the Buddha's teachings leads us to non-duality from the discriminating concept of two conflicting points of view. It is a mistake for people to seek a thing supposed to be good and right, and so to flee from another supposed to be bad and evil. If people insist that all things are empty and transitionary, it is just as great a mistake to insist that all things are real and to not change. If a person becomes attached to his ego personality, it is mistaken because it cannot save him from dissatisfaction or suffering. If he believes there is no ego, it is also a mistake. But if it would be useless for him to practice the way of truth. If people assure that everything is suffering, it is also a mistake. If they assure that everything is happiness, That is also a mistake. Buddha teaches the middle way, transcending these prejudicious concepts where duality merges into one. So, my dear Dhamma friends and followers, the middle part, the way of middle, not to extreme, not to lose, that is middle. About our food habits, we should know that the middle way, middle part is we should take food to live our life. We should not take food to live. Food is for living. So we should not take extreme food, many foods. In this way, we are success to go on the middle part, middle way, then you are in a right path. You are following the right way. Your view is very right. So, with Eightfold Noble Path will carry you to the way of enlightenment. So, my dear Dhamma friends and followers, in Dhamma, the way of middle life is egoless, selfishness less, but to acquire something by helping others with mudita bhav, samata bhav. That's all for today. Thank you very much. Bhavatu Sarva Mangalam.